Hello everyone, I'm Michelle from the Cooking Lab.
I'm Antonio.
Welcome to the first home edition of the Cooking Lab's video series while we are all at home. So this morning we are going to make cannileri. Cannileri are Sicilian Easter egg cookies that are from my mom's hometown in Sicily. We were hoping to make them at the Cooking Lab as a parent-child workshop. However, we can have our own parent-child workshop at home. How I'm gonna run this video is really a step-by-step guide where you really can follow along. So first things first, I'm going to tell you what you need so that you can get set up and hopefully do this with your kids or your teens or on your own. And this way you can pause at any point when you need to do something. Okay, so first things first, you need Easter eggs. Unfortunately, I don't have any Easter dye today. I didn't get any Easter dye, so I just hard boiled some eggs that I had in the fridge. So make sure before you start making these cookies that you have some Easter eggs ready to go. So here, I have 6 here. I would say that you, for this kind of amount that we're going to make, you probably could get about 8 of these out of the amount of dough we're making today. So have 8 ready to go, but I have 6. Okay, anyway, let's keep going. So we have some Easter eggs that are pre-boiled. What else do we need? Flour, sugar. I'll tell you the measurements as we go along. 1 1/4 stick of butter, preferably at room temperature. It doesn't have to be totally warm or soft, but just kind of not freezing cold out of the fridge. Some milk, vanilla, baking powder, 1 egg, and let's talk about the kitchen tools. Get a big bowl ready to go, some measuring cups, measuring spoons, some mixing spoons, and also for a glaze. So we're going to do I'm going to show you 2 different kind of alternative kind of glazes so that we can get our sprinkles on there. One is super, super easy. I just have an egg white that's already been separated from the yolk. So just that we can brush on to so I have a little brush also, that we can brush onto the final cookie. Or you can make an actual lemon icing. So some confectioner's sugar, couple of lemons. However, not all kids like lemons, so you can decide which one that you want to do. I have a lemon juicer. You can use your hand, obviously. So at this point, we're going to get started. However, you can press pause if you want, so you can get your mise en place ready to go, and you can have everything. Oh, and a baking sheet, of course, baking sheet. Any kind of baking sheet, you can line it with parchment paper. I'm using one of my clay bakers, and preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Okay, so like I said, at this point, if you want, you can hit pause, get everything ready to go, but Antonio and I are actually going to get started. So let's go. So first things first, we are going to measure out 4 cups of flour. Antonio, will you do the honors? Okay, what do we need to do with flour? What is this called?
Measure it out.
What is the proper word for it? Not just measure it, but level it out.
Level.
So with your back of your knife, you're going to level it. So scoop out your flour, okay, like that. Very good, good. All right, 4 of those. I'll hold the bowl steady. Here, I'll hand you the knife. Okay, all right, perfect. 1, this is 2, thank you. Great. 3. And 4. Awesome. Okay. So what we're going to do here, I'll take that from you. I can move this big thing of flour out of the way right now. I'm just going to take a little bit and just put it at the end of my board here so that we can use it as bench flour when we need it, when we're actually making the dough. So let me get this out of the way. Okay, next, you have your butter. Antonio, can you do me a favor? So just cut the butter into smaller pieces. They don't have to be little pieces.
Like this?
Yeah, that's fine. Because what we are going to do is we are going to work the butter into the flour with our hands. Now you can also do this part of it in a food processor, but I think it's more fun for the kids. And when we make this dough at the cooking lab, we always have the kids do it by hand because it's fun to get our hands dirty.
Should I cut this one too?
Yes, please. All right, terrific. Got it, thank you. All right, so just dump this butter into this flour, okay? And I'm gonna show you what to do, and then you're gonna take over. Okay, so with our fingers, we are going to start breaking up, you can do it with me, along with me, breaking up the pieces of butter into small pieces. It is a little easier when the butter is closer to room temperature than when it's cold. Right, let's start breaking all this up. Good. So this is going, so while you watch us do this and while you're doing this, let me tell you a little bit about these cookies. So what these are going to be little baskets that cradle an Easter egg. But it's not a bread, obviously, because there's no yeast in there. And it's also not really it's a soft cookie. It's crunchy on the outside, a little bit soft in the inside. So it's kind of a cross between a bread, a cookie, a pastry, but they're delicious and they're fun to make. All right, so now we have our butter broken up. And now what we're gonna do is really mix it into the flour, okay? And we're going to massage it. Can you do that with me?
Sure.
Let's do it together. We're gonna massage it into the flour with our fingers until it's totally incorporated and this flour resembles sand, like coarse sand. This is fun.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Very good. All right. Antonio, I'm going to have you finish this up, okay, while I see what else we need and get the next things ready for us, okay? All right. So. Great. All right, let me check this out. So this is actually the first time that we are doing this at home without my mom, without their nonna. This is very much nonna's recipe. And we're sad, right, that we can't do this with nonna this year for the first time. I'm sure so many of you out there are missing your grandparents too. But it's important that they stay home so that they stay healthy. That is the most important thing that comes out of all of this quarantine, right?
Yeah.
So Nonna made us promise her that I would do these with you guys. So I don't know if they're gonna come out as good as hers, but we're gonna try, right?
Yeah.
All right, at this point, so check it out. Check out in this bowl, you see how this kind of comes to resemble coarse sand. We're trying to eliminate the big lumps of butter and really just pinch it together. Okay, really just get it pinched with our fingers. And smaller hands are actually even better at this than bigger hands, right? All right, here we go. Okay. What do we think? Does it look pretty good?
I think it's good.
I think so. So now we're gonna do this. Just get this off our hands. Oh, and by the way, I didn't mention this. First things first, we have to wash our hands before we start this. Antonio and I did. So make sure you're doing this with clean hands, but I know that your moms are making you do that anyway. All right, sounds good. Okay, so let's start incorporating our other ingredients in there. Okie dokie. So, Antonio, what we need is 3/4 cups of sugar.
Is it okay if I still have a bit of flour in my
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Here we go.
3/4.
Let's just not, okay, 3/4. So what do we need? So 3/4 is what?
1/2.
A half plus?
A quarter.
Okay, good, that's fine.
Okay.
Let's get that sugar in there. I'll take that. And now you have your quarter. Okay. Great.
Put a bit more in.
Yeah, that's okay because the other one is. All right, let's get our sugar out of the way. Antonio, can you grab the baking powder? Okay. 2 teaspoons of baking powder.
Is this a teaspoon?
Yep.
Okay.
I gave you the teaspoon measure. All right, 1. Good. And 2. Fantastic. Next, we need a teaspoon of vanilla. Actually, let's do this. Let's wait on the vanilla for 1 second. Antonio, can you pull that? And also grab that fork. Thanks. Okay, so let's do this. So now we have an egg that we already cracked. Okay, it's been sitting here. Room temperature egg is better than a cold egg, but it doesn't really matter. So can you put a teaspoon of the vanilla into the egg? Okay. Good. And it's good. I'm glad that you're, no, put it all the way, fill it all the way up. Fill it all the way up. Yeah, it's okay. Listen, a little extra vanilla was never bad. It only makes things taste better. Okay, next. Alrighty.
Right.
Yes, whisk it. You can use a whisk, you can use a fork. It doesn't have to be perfect, but get in there. All right. Good. Perfect. Thank you very much. Okie dokie. Okay, so can you do, let's pour the egg right into this mixture now. Okay. Okay, pour it in. Good. And I'll use the spoon to get it in. All right. Oops, good. All the way in, okay? No waste, especially not right now when we're all getting groceries delivered and we're just using everything that we have in the house. So we want to get, here, I'll take that, okay?
Okay.
Every last little scrap in there. In general, no waste, but now more than ever, right? Okay. I think I did a decent job at making sure I got that all in. Okay. Okie, let's put that in our garbage. Okay, next. So do me a favor with just give this a little mix. Just carefully, so that, slowly and carefully, so it doesn't go flying everywhere. Okay, good. All right. So now the dough definitely is a little bit more wet, don't you think? You see a little bit yellow from the egg, and it's smells good too from the vanilla. Okay. But now we really need to get it together. So what's going to get it to come together is milk. So here's the thing with milk. You can always add more, but you can't take it out. That's with all liquids, right? Anytime you're adding liquids into baking. Always, so let's start with a little bit at a time. So right here, I have like a generous half cup here. I would say a little bit more than half cup. So we're probably gonna use all of it, but let's just start adding a little bit at a time. A little bit more. I would say use almost all of it. Yeah, keep going. Keep going. Oh, okay. No. Use almost all of it. We just don't want to like dump it in there. Okay. And you never know, we may even need more. We may have Antonio running to the refrigerator to get more if we need it. All right, keep going. You see how I'm mixing it? Keep pouring. Keep pouring. All right, keep going. Oh, I think we're gonna need more. All right, while I mix this, will you go get more milk? Okay. All right. But at this point, what we can do, whole milk is best. I only had 2% in the house, so that's totally fine. Antonio, just put a little bit in there because we don't want to take a chance that we're dumping it all in here because again, we don't want this to become, all right, that's good. Okay, so give me a little bit more milk. Add a little more milk in here. All around, okay? Good. Ooh, it's okay, it's all right. I think this is gonna be just the right amount, okay? Now let's see, if we need more, we'll use more. Now what do we think? Let me get this off of my hands.
Is that enough milk?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
Let's see.
So should I keep it here?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Here. So now I'm gonna switch to one hand here, okay? And then I'm gonna let you get in there too. Because this is fun, but I just wanna make sure that it's the right texture. And then I'm gonna let you knead it. Come together. Yeah, you see how it's starting to come together?
Yeah.
You see? You kind of see. You see what I'm doing? I'm kneading right? I'm not massaging it and getting it, I'm trying not to get it all over my fingers. Some are gonna get in my fingers, but I'm not massaging it with my fingers. I'm really trying to work it with the palm of my hand, just like when we make any kind of dough or fresh pasta or anything. Really, you wanna just work it. Antonio, do me a favor.
Yeah.
A tiny, well, first, let's see, maybe even just this little, yeah, put a tiny bit of more milk. So I would say at this point, we probably used about 3/4 of a cup instead of like that. That's good. Just a little bit. And that's the key. Just add things add the milk a little bit at a time. So don't dump it all in, just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit to wet it. All right, on the dough. Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah, a little more. All right, stop there. Let's see where this is at. Ooh, yeah, okay, see? That tiny bit of milk changed the texture already and made this into a much more malleable dough. You know what malleable means?
You can knead it easier?
Exactly. Very good. All right. Hopefully, Nonna is watching this video and approving, but who knows?
Yeah.
All right, let's now take our dough and turn it onto our work surface. Let me get rid of this stuff here. Okay, so what are we gonna do? We're going to put a little bit of flour. I have a wooden board. Anything you use is fine, as long as it's something that, look at that. All right, can you actually do me a favor and put this over there just to get it out of the way? Yeah, just put it on the counter. Okay.
Should I put the milk back in the refrigerator?
Yes, thank you. All right, so check it out. So while Antonio is cleaning everything up over here, see how good he is? So you see this dough? It's nice and soft, it comes together. And the great thing about this dough is you really don't need to rest it. You can rest it, you can leave it alone for 15 minutes if you want, but you don't have to, it really can be used. So you see this is a nice ball of dough. So now we are going to try to make about 7 or 8 cookies with this.
Okay.
So this is a bench scraper, dough cutter, whatever you want to call it. So let's see if we can do 1, 2. Let's start with those, okay? And we'll put this one aside for later because I know your brother's going to want to make some of these. So you and I will work on these and show everyone what we're going to do. Okay, so I'm going to do one and then you're going to do one.
Okay.
So let's try to make this relatively even. Okay, so now it's time to shape our dough into cannileri. So what you want to do is want to make a rope. It's fun. Great thing about this dough is you can really make, I mean, many of you guys have taken classes with the cooking lab. We've actually used this recipe to make cookies, and this is something that you guys all love to do. You love using this, and you make any shapes that you want to make with this. It's actually fun. You can make letters of your name. So if you don't want to use them all for Easter egg baskets, you very well can just make cookies out of them. All right. Okay, so now check it out. We have this rope, snake, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to do one first, and then I'm going to show, then Antonio's going to do one. Okay, so now you take this, you put it together, kind of like that, all right, and to make this loop, and then you make a braid out of it. You just twist it around, okay, and then you twist, and then you make it into a nest and you put your egg. Now we can take another extra little piece of dough if we want to make a little design. So you just put your nest, kind of fit it in there, make sure that this end is sealed. And now if we want to make a little decoration, check it out. So we'll take just a tiny little piece of your dough, right? Okay, and make it into a worm instead of a snake. Okay, let's do this. And then this is what Nonna does. Nonna always makes a little Oh, this is a little too long, right? Crisscross. Isn't that cool? Do they look like Nonna's Cannileri?
Yeah.
You can make any shapes you want. If you wanted to, for instance, you can take this other little piece of dough and you can almost make, well, you need a bigger one. You can make a basket, right? A basket shape out of it. You can make a little chick shape out of it. Whatever you want. How about Antonia? So let's do, so look what I'm doing. So now let's take our, cutting our, okay, and let's put this right there. And then we're going to show them what to do next. Okay, Antonio, do you want to do one?
Sure.
Okay, so let's follow along with one more. Good. Good. Make a nice big snake, and we want it to be even in size, right? So just kind of, so I'm going to show you a trick.
Sure.
Okay, so here, instead of having, what you do is you start and you go out. And then you start working a little bit at a time, the fatter pieces. You want to do that? So you see how this is skinnier? So then what do we want to do now? We want to kind of try to focus on the fatter pieces. Because we don't want it too thin. Yeah. We want them to all be relatively the same size. Let's add a little bit of flour, right? It's getting a little sticky. Mm-hmm. Here, so let's just take that. Do you remember what to do next?
Braid it.
Okay, so now how we're going to braid it. Yeah. So make it into a loop. Here, you know what? Let's go back one more. Do one more kind of back and forth, going outwards. Awesome. Awesome. That's so good. Okay, now do what you were going to do before. Braid it. So make it even, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
How do you braid it again?
Here. This is what happens when you only have boys. We don't know how to braid here in our house. Here, see?
Okay.
Here, and just kind of tightly coil it and
So
get it
like that?
over. Yeah, yeah. Good, good. Okay. Awesome. Oops. Okay, now what do we do? Here.
You go like that and make a circle.
Yep. I would say more of like, yeah, circle, oval.
Oval.
Yeah. And then, here, take your egg. Awesome. Awesome. And do you want to do the little thing on top?
Yeah.
Here's a little piece of dough for it. Here, she'll start with that. Now we're going to make that skinny, right? I'll give you a little more.
Sure.
Make sure that it's kind of sealed together and that the egg is nice and tucked in. Okay.
Made it a bit too skinny.
That's okay. Here, I'll do one at the same time, okay? Here. Here. Okay. Do you want to use mine?
Yeah.
This way we get, I think they got the idea, right? Mm-hmm. Here, let's use that. All right. Okay. Oh, you can do a cross. That's nice, actually, right? You can do like a, instead of the X, you can do the cross. Here, let's just make sure we have enough to, let's cut a little piece to kind of glue it together, right? Mm-hmm. Good. Okay. So now, especially with these uncolored eggs at this point, we want to make them a little fancier, right? Unfortunately, we don't have our beautiful, pretty eggs this year, but that's okay. This is what we have to do this year. So let's make them a little pretty. Okay. So this is what, so this is one way to do it. I'm going to show you two ways to kind of get these pretty colorful non-cake sprinkles on there. So first of all, we just have an egg white. So you've already separated your yolk from your white. So can you beat that for me?
Sure.
Yeah. Faster. We want to make sure we get that good and frothy.
Is this good?
A little bit more. Come on. We want to make sure, you want it to get to the point where it's bubbling up a little bit.
There, I think it's starting to bubble a bit.
Okay. Here, can I? Okay, cool. All right, so this is what we are going to do. Where's my brush? Here it is.
There.
Okay, so do me a favor.
Yeah.
So take the brush and just brush, lightly brush the dough, okay? All areas of the dough. Okay. You can use any kind of sprinkles that you have, cake sprinkles or whatnot. So this is what you do if you just want this simple, yeah, take some more, okay? Because this is the glue over here. That egg white is the glue that is going to allow the nonpareils, the little cake sprinkles, to stick to it to make it look pretty. Okay,
Should I put it on here?
Yeah,
too?
why not? Make sure you get it all around. Okay. So this is the way to get your, if you just kind of want a simple glaze. Okay, here, I'll let you do the honors. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I'll let you do the honors. Okay, so gently sprinkle it onto the dough. Yeah, see, it already looks pretty, all right?
Yeah.
Even though we don't have the colored eggs. Keep going.
Ooh,
It's okay.
under.
You may actually, just a little tip, you may want to do this not on the tray. I probably should have told you that before. No big deal, just so that it doesn't melt onto your tray. Okay, I think that's enough. That's nice.
Yeah.
But that looks good. But here's another way to do it. So here, now we have sprinkles everywhere. Here's another way to do it. So this is kind of your simple, basic way to do it. Just a little bit of egg wash and the nonpareils right into the oven. Done. Now, the way my mom does it, but it's not everybody's favorite. So not all kids like lemon.
I like it this way.
Which one? The way I'm doing it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, me too. So this is what you would do. You'd make a lemon icing that needs to set. So this is a good thing to do, you know, either before or even while these are in the oven and totally cooling off. So I have a little bit of confectioner sugar. I don't know, what would I say, it's probably about 3/4 of a cup. So now what I'm going to do, here, squeeze it for me, Antonio. Go. Is squeeze some lemon juice into the confectioner sugar. Let's start with just that 1/2 of a lemon and see if we need any more. And whisk it together. Whisk it now.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What's the difference between whisking and beating?
Pretty much the same thing. Whisking can be a little bit more of a like a gentle motion, whereas beating, you're really kind of getting in there to make, like, if you really need something like the eggs to be whipped completely
That looks good.
evenly. Okay, that looks good. Look. Okay, so what we would do here is we would allow this to set. Okay, so what you would do here. So there's 2 ways. You can do it this way, just the plain old way where we just put some egg wash on it and then the sprinkles right into the oven like that. If you want to actually add some icing to it, what you would do is just put them in the oven, pretend you don't see this one, just like this, okay? Just like this, plain. Then after they are completely cooled, after you take them out of the oven and they completely cooled, what you would do is you would add the icing onto the cookie and then add your sprinkles right onto it. And then you would let the icing harden and then you would have kind of a little bit of a more sweeter, glazier Cannileri. So this is it, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this. So, I should probably tell you. So then this goes, I think I told you at the beginning to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Once you make all of your Cannileri, you can do them either way, this way or that way, bake them for about 20 minutes. I would say middle rack, about 20 minutes. Maybe turn, if you don't have it on convection, turn it once to make sure that both sides are getting evenly golden. And that's what they should look. They should look golden and they'll be delicious. And I promise you, and they're festive and fun. And if you have any questions whatsoever, just send us an email. Happy to answer anything. We wish everybody a happy Easter, a happy Passover. We really can't wait to be back in the cooking lab and doing this with you. But for now, stay healthy, stay strong, and we miss you all, and happy holidays.